What's up, guys? I'm Johnny Fandom, and I'm here to talk to you today about Harry Potter. We are going to continue the video I posted the other day. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out right now because we are discussing how the story would differ if Neville Longbottom was the chosen one, as in if Voldemort thought the prophecy meant Neville instead of Harry. So let's get right into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, we left off with the second book, and we are now going into chapter 3. Well, not chapter 3, but the third installment of the story. We're going to start off with Peter Pettigrew, because Peter Pettigrew was sent to Azkaban in this story, and he easily escapes of being prisoner by turning into a rat and squeezing through the bars and getting away. So he's still unknown and I guess by the ministry, so they still put it out there, still let the public know and the muggles know that a prisoner has escaped. And you don't necessarily say that he's a murderer or what he escaped or what he did, just that he escaped, and the wizarding community knows that he was a Death Eater. And they don't really know too much about it, but they just know that he was a Death Eater, and they may know that he gave information about the Potters, and that's why they're in St. Mungo's, because of him. Sirius is very upset about this, and he probably tells Harry, look, this is the guy that released information about your parents, and he's the reason that your parents are in St. Mungo's. I like to think that in the off season and the holiday, Harry goes to visit his parents, just like Neville would have in the original story. So now we have Sirius like, okay, you go to school, I gotta take care of this. Don't worry, I can get in trouble. We're gonna figure this out. Now the question is, would Peter go to the school? Maybe. Maybe he knows that Harry is in the school and he wants to get back at Sirius for getting captured. So yeah, Peter is gonna go to the school, and I don't think he would kill Harry. He's too much of a pansy to kill an attack. Although he did kill Cedric, but that was after he met back with Voldemort. At this point, I think he's too much of a scaredy cat to, or a scaredy mouse, to actually kill Harry. He may just want to scare him a little bit. He may say, I want to kill him, but he's not going to. So we have the rat breaking the school, trying to get to Harry. All the other events are moving through to place. He still gets the Mars map. He still has this. We still have Lupin. And Peter may be acting upon another point to maybe attack Neville. So maybe he wants to attack Neville and Harry. So the events kind of do play out still. We still get Buckbeak and the trial. We still get them going back in time with the time turner. Only issue is this time around we are going to have Neville, Harry, and Hermione go back while Ron is in the hospital wing. So they go back and try to save Buckbeak. But we got to figure out the other part of that story. Because they're not trying to save Peter. They're trying to stop him from getting away. Because he still is going to escape and go back to the Dark Lord that night, according to the prophecy. So, at what point would they meet up with Peter Pettigrew in order to have the story? Maybe Sirius gets in contact with Lupin and sips some information that he may have been able to tell that Peter is in the school and to keep an eye out for a rat. So Lupin is on the lookout for a rat because he knows Peter Pettigrew is a rat and ends up capturing him, but with the help of Harry, Ron, and Hermione, but because of the whole werewolf thing, maybe Snape is, being Snape and like, oh, you let this rat. It's like, no, dude, I don't really let the rat in. He was not a friend of ours, really. He was the kid that kind of followed us around. So events could play out somewhat the same, but instead of Sirius being a dog, it's Peter as a rat, trying to catch him. Sirius doesn't trust him, and this and that. And Lupin ends up to the werewolf, which causes Peter Pettigrew to escape because they do capture him and want to bring him to the castle the same exact way. Only this time around in this story, we'll go back even farther. We have the mentors on the train just the same, but Harry and Neville are going to be attacked. It's going to affect Harry somewhat, but it's going to affect Neville the way it affected Harry. Although he was present and alive and well aware of the attack of his parents. So it's going to affect him a lot harder than it affected Harry because he witnessed the death. And Neville can see the Thestrals, whereas Harry cannot. Also, Harry shouldn't be able to see him anyway. But that's another video. I actually have it right here. Anyway, so we get the same events happening. Peter escapes, goes back to Lord Voldemort, the same kind of way, and Buckbeak is safe. The only thing is Buckbeak has to figure out another place to stay because he's not going to go with Peter Pettigrew, and he can't go with Sirius because Sirius is not the one that escaped on him. So we have to figure out a way to hide him. I guess Sirius could take him still and keep him upstairs in his mother's room like he did in Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sirius will talk to Dumbledore, figure out a way to get to the castle, take Buckbeak and hide him, and keep Buckbeak at his house. That's what we're doing. Buckbeak is living with Harry and Sirius from now on. Also, at this point, because Harry lived with Sirius, he knows a little more about the family tree and knows about the Draco, the Malfoys being related to him, and he knows a little bit more of that history there. Apparently my light went out over there. I'll mess with it later. Okay, so now we have to move into the Goblet of Fire. So the same events are going to happen. Except this time, because Neville is like more of good friends with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and very important role, I feel like Neville is also invited to go to the Quidditch World Cup, and also Sirius is going to go with them. And same thing, Crouch is going to be in the stands. He's going to steal Neville's wand to use it and conjure the Dark Mark. He's going to, say same thing plays out, except we have Sirius and Neville present at the Quidditch World Cup, and the whole plan is that Crouch is going to portray Mad-Eye Moody to become the professor and put Neville's name in the Goblet of Fire because they need Neville to go to the graveyard. So this scenario is going to be a little different because Harry's not going to be there. And Neville is going to be there with Cedric. I feel like Harry still plays Quidditch and is still very good at Quidditch because it's, in his blood. But would Neville play Quidditch and would Neville really know Cedric that well besides the Triwizard Tournament? I think Neville, on the other hand, would, be humble as he is. Like, no, Cedric, you do it. And Cedric may do the same thing. So, Neville doesn't play Quidditch because we know how bad he is on the broom. We gave in. Yeah. He falls on his fat ass. Anyway, I feel like it has to happen the same way because if you have Neville go to the graveyard by himself, it's going to be tough. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of courage, but he's going to have to... Yeah, so Neville goes to the graveyard with Cedric. They both touch the cup at the exact same time. I'm not going to go through the rest of the rest of the book, because the event's going to still play out. Except Neville is already going to know about Gillyweed because Mad-Eye Moody's going to give him the book. Yeah. Why do I keep going ahead of myself here? This is why I, Anyway. So, for most, the beginning of the book is going to start off the same. Like I said, the Quidditch World Cup, they're going to go through that. Neville's name is going to be put the goblet. Same kind of thing happens. The first task is obviously the dragons. I think Neville will do the Jungus charm. It's called the Fungus charm. The thing that that Crumb used to kind of blind the dragon. So Neville gets to do the first task with the dragon, with a few burn marks on his arm, but he is fully confident now. His confidence is building. He's a lot more braver. And he knows that he has the help of Harry, Ron, and Hermione to kind of encourage him, because they don't think he put a name in the Goblet of Fire. So there's no tension between Harry and Ron anymore as an individual story, and I doubt that they would think Neville would put it, because Neville was known to be, not wanting to do it. So they think something's up. Somebody else put his name in the Goblet of Fire. And then we have a second task where Mad-Eye Moody, who is actually Barty Crouch, is going to give Neville the book about the plants. And Neville's going to find... Now, here's the thing. I think Charlie still brings the dragons, obviously. And maybe they sneak Neville down there to see the dragons, so he knows what the first task is. He still tells Cedric, because he's the Hogwarts champion, and Neville is a good kid. I feel like he wouldn't share the information with Cedric, and because obviously we do know that Kakarot was down there, and so was what's her name? Yeah. So we do know that everybody needs to have an even playing field. I feel like Neville would still tell Cedric that. Cedric does tell him about the egg in the bath. Eventually, Neville figures it out. He hasn't figured out the same way. He listens to the crew, goes to Hermione. Hermione says, "Oh, it's gotta be mermaids. You gotta figure out how to breathe under water." And he goes, "I know exactly how to do that." And Ron, Harry, Hermione are like, "What? You know how to breathe under water?" yeah, check out this book that Mad Eye gave me. And he flips through the book, and there's gillyweed. So now he's had to figure out how to get the gillyweed. I feel like Dobby would still somehow overhear a conversation and get the gillyweed for them and give it to Neville to do the next task. I don't think Neville would... Who would Neville's person be? Neville's going to save Harry. Harry's going to be taken down there. So it's going to be Harry, Hermione, because Hermione's still with Crumb, and then Cho and LaFour's sister. I don't think Neville is going to take the same thing that Harry did. I feel like he would, save Harry, not understand what's going on, like why are those people down here, and he's gonna see Hermione, and he's like, I gotta save Hermione too. So Murray's gonna tell him, no, only one hostage. So I think Neville's gonna go up to the top with Harry and just save Harry and not wait. So he's gonna get a good amount of points. And probably still be tied with Cedric in order to go into the third task with the maze. They get to there, and they both grab the Triwizard Cup. They both get port keyed into the graveyard. Cedric, unfortunately, still dies. And then we have the battle between Neville and Voldemort. And Voldemort comes back in the same way with the sacrifice of Peter's arm and Neville's blood, and the same thing, he comes alive, and he has been waiting for this moment for a while. Well, not for a while. He's been waiting for this moment for about 2 years, and he's like, I attacked you 2 years ago. What makes you so damn powerful that you defeated me, the Dark Lord? And with that being said, we're going to take a quick little break because I need a break. Word from our sponsor. Raze Energy Drink is the greatest caffeine drink you'll ever drink. They have a ton of great flavors. 0 sugars, 0 calories, full of amino acids, and great caffeine to keep you running all day and hydrated. So go to Rep Sports, that's REPP Sports.com. Use coupon code JohnnyHuey to save yourself 50% off. But they don't only have just energy drinks. They also have a ton of pre-workout mixes, after workout mixes that kind of bring you down from your workout and relax you. They also have stuff called Hypersleep, which you take right before you go to bed and makes you wake up feeling refreshed and energized, ready to go first thing in the morning. Then you can get pancakes. They got protein pancake breakfast mix. Great to start your breakfast morning with a nice little protein pancake and chocolate chip. You have funfetti, and you have other flavors as well. You can also get other dietary supplements as well, such as thermogenic drink mixes and all sorts of things like that to help you stay healthy. So if you want to stay healthy, energized, and hydrated, go to Rep Sports. That's REPP Sports.com. Use coupon code JohnnyHuey to save yourself 50% off. And let's get back to Neville Longbottom, the chosen one. So Voldemort is super pissed. He's like, how can you defeat me? You didn't do anything. Your mother stepped in. Your mother sacrificed herself, and somehow I hit you with the one curse, the Avada Kedavra, and you, a stupid 14? You stupid. He was 11 at the time. But whatever. You stupid teenager blocked my spell. I don't even know what happened. I shot you with the curse, and it came back, and it what did you do? And because Voldemort doesn't understand the power of love. Neville's mother sacrificed himself for him, and it rebounded the curse against him. So, same thing. Voldemort says, let's duel, does the proper dueling, makes him bow, Cruciatus curse, all that other stuff, and then shoots that Avada Kedavra, and Neville's wand just instinctively shoots the gold stream, wands connect, sparks going everywhere, and we see Cedric come out, and then Neville's parents come out, and so on and so forth, just like it did for Harry. Cedric says, take my body back to my family. Neville's parents says, we'll hold him off, you go. And same thing kind of happens. Neville comes back with the body. Mad Moody takes him away, where Dumbledore kind of sees this and goes along with him, and we get the same kind of scene, except Neville is sitting in a chair talking about what happened with Barty Crouch and everything else. So everything else plays out pretty much the same. The only difference is Voldemort wasn't away for that long. He's only gone for about 2 years. So, now we move on to the 5th book, which is Order of the Phoenix. I feel like this is going to play out very similar, where except Neville is now going to be at the Order of the Phoenix. I don't think they can use Sirius's house. However, I didn't mention this in the other video, but Sirius is living with Harry. However, in the books, Sirius does say that when he ran away from his home, 12 Grimmauld Place, he went to go live with James until he was able to get enough money and buy his own place after his uncle or somebody passed away, and he was able to buy his own place. So he has another house. What if him and Harry live in the other house, and they still use 12 Grimmauld Place as the as the Order of the Phoenix headquarters? How come we never see the other house? If Sirius died and left 12 Grimmauld Place into Harry's possession, what about the other house? If he had the other house, he could have told Harry where it was and left it to Harry as well, and they could have had another hideaway to go because nobody else really knew about it. Anyway, it's a flaw in the book, a nice little plot hole. Anyway, 12 Grimmauld Place is still the headquarters. So, maybe this time around we can still have Sirius going over the family tree with that, instead of before. So, the events still kind of take place, except we have Neville present as well. And Neville wants to figure out what's going on. Why is this happening? Why is this so important? Doesn't really find out about the prophecy yet. We don't have Neville attacking the Dementors because it doesn't happen that same way. So they go to school, and the story's going to play out basically the same way, because Umbridge is still going to be the defensive dark arts teacher, still going to question Neville for saying that Voldemort's back, except Neville's going to have this scar on the back of the hand that says, I must not tell lies. So basically the story's going to play out the same way. They still create the DA, except Neville is the one teaching the DA with the help of Ron, Harry, and Hermione, because Neville's the one that knows the Patronus Charm and all these other spells. And the events that are going to play out the same. They're going to break into the Ministry of Magic and find the prophecy. And the battle's going to pursue. This part is tough because I really don't want it to happen. Alright, let's backtrack. So the events are going to play out the same. Neville is going to be possessed by not possessed, but Voldemort's going to read his mind and torture him the same way that he tortured Harry. So send him visions about attacks. He is going to see Arthur Weasley get attacked by a snake instead of Harry doing it. And same thing, going to save Arthur Weasley. And then Voldemort's going to put an image in his head of someone very close to him. His gran. I feel like his grandma is, all for it. She's, proud of her, Neville's parents. I feel like she's a fighter. I don't think she would join the order so much, but she definitely a fighter. So Voldemort puts this image of Neville's gran in his head. He's confused. Like, why is my gran here? Like, what's going on? Why is my gran being attacked? So Neville can't get in touch with his grandma, obviously, because of everything going on. Events still play out. Umbridge still has him in the office. They attack him and they escape to try to go to the Ministry of Magic to save Neville's grandma. And I think because if Neville was there, Neville's grandma would be part of the Order of the Phoenix. So, possibly. Always might have some kind of insight in that. So let's say for that sake, yes. So unfortunately, something bad's gonna happen. At the Battle of the Ministry, at the Vale, Neville's grandma is going to show up with Sirius and some of the others to fight back and protect the boys and girls. The kids. So Neville's grandma, unfortunately, is the one that gets hit with the curse and falls through the veil. This is tragic because it's going to break Neville so hard because Neville's parents literally just died almost 3 years ago. So this is going to be so hard on Neville, the fact that he lost his parents and now his grandma. So the prophecy is heard. Neville understands the prophecy the same way Harry understands the prophecy by Dumbledore telling him what's going on. And I feel like Sirius is going to take Neville and like, hey, look, Dumbledore, I'll take him. I'll protect him. He's good with me and Harry. So Neville is now moving in with Harry. That's my canon. Now let's move to the 6th book. In the 6th book, the Half-Blood Prince. Chain of events is going to happen somewhat simultaneously as the same as the original book. We still have Professor Snape taking over Death Heads of the Dark Arts. We still have Draco Malfoy, and the whole thing with the Ministry and his parents has to kill Dumbledore, except it's Neville instead of Harry. So basically, the whole movie is going to play out the same, except in Neville's position being in that. Neville's courage at this point is up there. He is detrimentally heartbroken, but he wants to defeat Voldemort as much as everybody else because all this stuff that's been happening, Voldemort destroyed his family. But he knows that he has Harry, Ron, and Hermione to be there for him as his family now. So Neville ends up with the book, the Half-Blood Prince book, and becomes crazy good at potions. Like, crazy good. Like, you wouldn't believe how good. And we all know he's abysmal at potions, and now he's just like the potion god. And Slughorn is so impressed. He takes him with his wing and does all this and that. Same way that he did with Harry, because, he's like, oh, you're the guy that defeated Dark Lord. Like, I want you on my Slughorn squad. So the events of the movie still play out. Neville goes to the cave with Dumbledore instead of Harry, and then they get the fake locket come back, and Dumbledore dies, and the whole battle pursues. And Neville has the locket with Ron, Harry, and Hermione, opens up and says, it's fake. We gotta find the other ones. And it's RAB. Here's the kicker, though. RAB is Regulus Black. If Harry mentioned it to him, Sirius may be like, and explain the whole history of his brother to Harry, and Harry can betray that to the group. Moving on to the 7th book. We have the Battle of the 7 Nevilles. Same thing is going to betray out, except they're going to be leaving from Sirius and Harry's house, because that's where Neville is. So Sirius has to give up his home in a way, and Harry has to give up his home in some way. So Harry, Sirius, and Neville all have to leave their home behind, essentially, because they know about the presence of that and know what Neville is. So they have to leave it with everybody else, use the Polyjuice Potion in the same way, and travel back to the burrow, where they can be safe. Except this time around, it's 8 Nevilles, because Neville is the extra person in the story. We're still going to have Charlie and Bill and Four and everybody else. So it's 8 Nevilles now. And we have Sirius with his motorbike. So Hagrid can't really do it. Unless Hagrid still takes a motorbike and Sirius takes a broom. Yeah. In this scenario, when we're flying back to the burrow, we have to go to the safe houses first, then take the portkey to the burrow. Unfortunately, in this scene, Sirius is going to die. Sirius is attacked in the air, and Sirius dies because McDungus does the same thing that he did to Moody and causes Sirius to die. So now Harry still loses Sirius, and they get to the burrow, everything else. Dumbledore leaves Neville the stone, but hidden in something else. Not sure what it is yet, but leaves him the sword. Obviously, we don't have the sword because we can't get it. Still leaves Hermione the book, leaves Ron the Illuminator, and leaves Harry the first snitch he ever caught, which could still have the stone in it, but there could be another message on there later on once he puts it in his mouth. So the snitch could say, I open at the close for Neville. It says on the snitch, I open at the close for Neville. So it's a gift, basically, that he has to hide for Harry for Neville. So he gives Harry the snitch, Ron the Illuminator, Hermione the book, and the sword to Neville. Obviously, he can't get the sword until later. So the wedding happens, the Death Eaters come and attack, and the quartet escapes, because now that's all 4 of them, they have to go. And they know that it's RAB, so the first place they want to check is Grimmauld Place, and they find out about the whole locket with Creature and McDungus selling it. And we get the same chain of events with the Ministry and stealing the locket from a stupid Umbridge. And basically the story does play out the same way. We still get, the curse on them holding it. Vaughn still gets frustrated because it's Vaughn, and he's so frustrated with his family and wants to go back and this and that, and he still leaves and he still comes back with the light, and they find the sword, except it's Neville meeting up with Vaughn, seeing the sword, and destroying the Horcrux. And then we move forward through the rest of the story, destroying the Horcruxes, get to the Battle of Hogwarts. Except in the Battle of Hogwarts, same thing's going to play out. They're still going to find the diadem. Same thing's going to happen in the fiery thing, except it's going to be Neville present in the scene as well. And then once Neville goes to the forest and accepts death, because that's the only way that he can stop this, is that if he accepts to die. He accepts the fact that he has to die in order to destroy himself, in order to destroy Voldemort. So he fakes his own death, well, pretends to be dead after he dies, essentially, same way Harry did. This time around, Harry is the one that's going to pull the sword out and kill Nagini. Then Neville comes back and the whole fight thing happens the same way it happened with Harry and the Elder Wand and everything else. And the story concludes basically the same way, except Neville and Harry have no place to live, no family, no home to go to. Well, I guess they could go back to the home that they were living at. Yeah, I guess they could do that. Or hang out the Burrow for a few years until you get jobs. Anyway, that's what would happen if Neville was the chosen one instead of Harry. Somewhat similar of a story, just different perspective, and Neville needs to build the courage a little more than Harry would have from the get-go, because Neville was such a non-couraging person. No, he was very scared all the time, and he had to build that courage up a lot faster this time around. But the original trio definitely still plays a huge part in this, because they still are the backbone of Neville in order to succeed in the series. So, before you leave, comment down below your thoughts and what you think would be different between the original stories and Neville being the chosen one. And hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. But wait, before you go, please check out the merch store down below. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, check out that video right there, which is part 1 of this series. And check out that video down there. And I'll see you guys next time.